institutions of entrepreneurs and innovators who drive economic growth, create jobs, and develop new ideas and solutions. It's a day to acknowledge the hard work, dedication, and risks that entrepreneurs take to
सर
bring new
आपको
ideas
सर अभी बुलाएंगे तुरंत ही सर, आप आ जाइए प्लीज। जी जी जी।
and make a positive impact on society. The role of entrepreneurs is vital in shaping economies and societies by fostering innovation, improving efficiency, and addressing various challenges. World Entrepreneurs Day provides an opportunity to celebrate their efforts and inspire others to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. Various seminars, workshops, and discussions are often organized on this day to promote innovation and entrepreneurship. NIET, a premier institute in the NCR and the first institution to have received autonomous status from the UGC, constantly encourages its students to innovate and convert their ideas into real entrepreneurial ventures. The vision of the institute is to be an entrepreneurial hub. There are currently 12 startups being run by the students of NIET. The institute is incubating more than 30 ideas at present, and the members of the faculty regularly mentor the students to generate new ideas. All this is a testimony to the fact that NIET is a fast-growing entrepreneurial hub in the country. To commence the event, I would request respected Director Sir Dr. Vinod M. Kapse to please formally welcome our chief guest and the participants to this program. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, Yusuf. Good morning to all. Chief guest of today's function, Dipan Sahu, Assistant Innovation Director, Ministry of Education, Innovation Cell and AICTE, Government of India. Director General, Mr. Praveen Soneja, Professor Sanjay Maurya, Coordinator for this IIC, all the faculty members and dear students. So it's my pleasure to welcome the chief guest of today's function, Dipan Sahu sir, for gracing the occasion. Despite of his busy schedule, he agreed to be the chief guest for this particular function. Thank you, sir. And definitely your word of wisdom will be a great motivation for all of us, including students. So your vast experience will definitely give some ideas as well as guidelines to the students so that they can explore the new things in coming time. So it's my pleasure to welcome our Director General, Mr. Praveen Soneja ji, for his presence. It's my pleasure to welcome all the faculty members, dear students. Definitely this day that is World's Entrepreneur Day is a very important for all of us, because the Government of India, our Honorable Prime Minister, is very instrumental in promoting this startup culture in India. And you are finding that every day we are getting good entrepreneurs as well as startups. They are growing like anything, and we are across the world we are doing tremendously very good in startup culture. So again, this the Government of India is promoting this startup culture, and their policies are definitely helping the students as well as the young entrepreneur to develop their startups. So talking about the NIT, sir, I am delighted to share with you that NIT is one of the premier institute in NCR region. We are the first autonomous private institute in entire Uttar Pradesh. The institute has engineering institute has NIRF ranking in the band of 101 to 150, and our NIT Pharmacy Institute is 42nd rank in India, and we are the highest. We have the highest ranking in entire Uttar Pradesh since last 4 years. So this is a great achievement for our institute. Also, all the programs are NBA accredited. All the eligible programs are NBA accredited. Institute is NAC accredited with A grade. Institute has a diamond rating in QS iGOG. We are very much instrumental in promoting startup culture at our institute. We have technology business incubation center in total 14,000 square feet area. And currently more than 35 startups are running under our NIT TPI group. And at the same time, we have one unique policy which is called as Avishkar Bhumi policy. Under this Avishkar Bhumi policy, if the student have any idea to convert into a startup, so the entire funding will be done by the NIT from ideation to the complete development. So that startup culture is definitely available at NIT. That's why, as told by Mr. Professor Yusuf, that currently our almost 15 startups are running by our NIT students, and regularly we are doing this type of practice at our institute so that the students will be promoted. So today's function, today's awareness program will be definitely a very, your guidance and your experience will be a very eye opener for them. Also, I want to mention that we have a very unique program. Definitely with your initiative only we got that approval, that is MBA IEV. Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Venture Development. I know while taking the approval for this particular program, frequently we got the mail from your ID only, and there is a process, so we need to follow that process. So definitely that is a unique program that we have. So thank you, sir, for gracing this particular occasion, and your word of wisdom will be a great input for all of us. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would take the pleasure of introducing our chief guest for this event, Mr. Dipan Sahu. Mr. Sahu is an enthusiastic policy entrepreneur and practitioner with more than 13 years of experience in the domain of innovation and entrepreneurship, actively contributing to the growth of the Indian startup ecosystem. He is currently an Assistant Innovation Director, Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell and AICTE, Government of India. His work engages a diverse variety of more than 4,000 ecosystem enablers in building a vibrant innovation and startup culture development in higher education institutions and schools. He has successfully established a scalable and sustainable model of the institution's Innovation Council, network for fostering innovation and entrepreneurial culture in more than 7,000 HEIs, which directly influences the career choice of 4 million students. He is leading the formulation and nationwide implementation of various national policy initiatives toward institutionalization and benchmarking innovation practices in HEIs such as the National Innovation and Startup Policy, NIRF Innovation Ranking, IIC's Innovation Ambassador Training, Mentor-Mentee Program, Impact Lecture Series, IIC, and linkage with Atal Tinkering Labs in schools. AICTE Innovation Repository and AICTE Innovation Challenge programs have also been created to streamline and strengthen innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem in educational institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, it won't be an exaggeration if I say that he is one of those individuals who inspire the youth of the country to innovate and excel in their respective fields. Today, on the occasion of World Entrepreneurs Day, Mr. Sahu will be talking about how to start a new venture. Well, without any further ado, I would request our esteemed guest for today, Mr. Dipan Sahu, to please take over and start the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Yusuf Ji, for a very brief and nice introduction. And first of all, I will thank Director of NIET, Dr. Vinod Ji, and Director General of NIET, Sri Praveen Ji, and under their able leadership, IIC team of NIET is actually putting their full effort and soul to organize this kind of activities, especially to generate the awareness and understanding towards innovation and entrepreneurship, and then providing them ample opportunities at the institute with institutional supports to engage in innovation and entrepreneurship activities, and making them to go through a phase of experiential learning on innovation and entrepreneurship, and then setting the mechanisms for producing innovations and entrepreneurs in a sustained manner. So these are the kind of indications, and what director just mentioned about the various approvals, accreditations, ratings, and rankings of NIET they have bagged in the last 3 to 4 years, in the last 5, 6 years. All these things is a testimony of the commitment and the passion of the institute and commitment of the leaders of the institute towards building the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship and the ecosystem in our higher education institutions. As just Dr. Yusuf mentioned, the IIC Institutions Innovation Council and this NIRF Innovation Ranking Framework or adoption of a National Innovation Startup Policy, and there are so many other programs. These are the interventions created by Ministry of Education, especially for our higher education institutions, so that an enabling environment will be created in our education institutions, and the stakeholders, the primary stakeholders like students, faculty, staff, all these people will get an avenues and the kind of you can say that platform where they will not only understand the concept in a deeper way, in a in-depth manner, also they will get a platform to showcase their ideas, innovations. They will work on the problems, they will find out a solution which is scalable, and also business opportunity to start their venture. Finally, that will lead to the wealth creation, not only at the individual level, also they will contribute meaningfully towards the nation's development in terms of economic, in terms of environmental, in terms of social also. So all these things are actually finally leading towards making India one of the strongest economy in near future, and already we are in the 5th largest, and we are aiming for a 3rd largest economy in just next 5 to 7 years or next 10 years. And for that we need young minds to come forward with their ideas, innovations to solve our country's problem, also to solve the global problem. So simultaneously we will go for becoming a strongest country, a top economic country. Also we are going to cater to the global economy through our creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So let me focus on all these things, because today is the occasion to celebrate World Entrepreneurs Day, and this is very need of the hour. And now, just believe me, now innovation, entrepreneurship is not a fancy word. It is no more a fancy word. It is now, it seems to be more essential for each and every individuals or each and every economy to survive, thrive, and prosper. And believe me, now it is now our young minds, they are seeing innovation and entrepreneurship as an alternative career option. And this happened because our education institutions have taken the lead role, and they are making sure that those students and faculty will come and join their academic institutions. They must have inculcate, they must have go through this phase of learning, skilling, reskilling, upskilling, and honing their in entrepreneurial skills, so that they will able to perform a hybrid role, like they will perform as a teacher, they will perform as a researcher or scientist, they will also perform like a mentor, and as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, as a startup founder. And we are expecting the faculty members will perform or become a role model for our students, so that the students will learn these core skills. Also they will learn the entrepreneurial and innovation and creative skills, and that they will apply during the study period itself, and which will make them more holistic and comprehensive version of the human being, so that they are not only will perform or contribute to the any company or the corporate when they will join, also they will able to solve the problems of the society, industry, and the market. Let me share my presentation with you all. And for next 45 minutes I'm going to talk certain aspects of venture, especially the startup or the venture, the enterprise that we all are talking about. And so today's topic I'm going to touch upon is how to start a venture or starting a venture. So when the word comes venture, then actually you will sometimes it clicks directly that venture means it's a startup, and because startup and venture words are quite synonymous, but venture also we can call the big venture, the spin-offs also can be called venture. But here we are focusing upon venture means it is it is a, just wait. Let me highlight. Just tell me, my screen is visible to all?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Okay. So first of all, I will congratulate and especially the student and faculty community. If you have decided to start your venture, then I think you have taken a right decision, because currently you are in India, and India is one of the emerging startup nation. That means it's the land of opportunity, and what you are going to do in this country, what the kind of model you are going to develop, and believe me, it can fit into the both the worlds, that is the your developed world and the developing world. That means you are in a transitioning country or the transitioning economy, and your product, your solution has the opportunity to go into the both side of the world, that is developed world or the advanced country. Also you can cater to the underdeveloping world, that is the less advanced countries. And this is the what opportunities we have, because the diversity, demographic dividend what we have, actually it is giving us an ample opportunity to have come across with this array of the problems, and utilizing our skills, technical breakthrough and all kind of things to come up with a solution. So India is one of the emerging, it is emerging as a startup nation, and the growth rate of Indian startups is actually phenomenal. It is increasing more than 45% per year, and 21% of total startups from our country, they are actually solving the global problems. So this, that you can see that the number of unicorns we are producing has crossed more than 100, and the number of startups during in the year of 2017 were only 600 numbers, but number of startups registered and recognized by Startup India during the month of January 2023 has crossed again more than 1 lakh. So you can see the exponential growth of startups, and especially student startups or startups from academic institutions, startups from incubation units are actually has increased many folds. So this is the one of the indicators that you are in the right place and right phase of your economy to start a startup. Second thing is that if you will see the kind of a opportunity, especially the 21st century is actually belongs to our country and Asia continent, and 19th century was for Europe, 20th century is for the USA, and 21st century is for China and India. China has already started, and we are about to start or just starting. But the economy or the kind of time condition, all kind of things is completely conducive for our country, and it reflects in terms of the Global Innovation Index. Actually, at present in 2022, India is in 40th position in Global Innovation Index, and 5-6 years back we were in 86th position. So you can just see that in the last 5 to 6 years how this whole transformation happened in our country, and the innovation activities, entrepreneurial activities has increased in many folds, and that reflects in terms of performance in Global Innovation Index. And again, if I will try to highlight how it is best suitable for you all, because India is one of the youngest startup nation. We are emerged as a startup nation. Also, it is youngest startup nation in the world, because total startup founders, if you just find the demography of the startup founders, more than 72% of the founders are less than 35 years old. That means majority of the startup founders are falling into the age group of 20 to 35, and in the last 2-3 years, the proportion of the startup founders between 20 to 30 has increased substantially. So this is the indication of that youngsters, especially students and just immediate pass out graduates, are actually entering into this startup career. The second indicator also highlights that why you all are suitable for become an entrepreneur is that more than 80% of startup founders have an educational background of MBA, MTech, BTech, BE, or somewhat graduate on postgraduate courses. So these are the indication that if you will try to understand, have an experience, or you will practice innovation entrepreneurship during your studentship, then there is a high chance that either during the study itself or during your third year, fourth year, or immediate after the course you complete, you will convert, you will start your startup. So this is the kind of landscape opportunity in our country, and there is an emergence of a special category of entrepreneurs. We call them student entrepreneurs, or we call them student innovators, or also we can call them scholarpreneurs, because these are the MTech and PhD students. Those convert their PhD areas, PhD projects, or MTech projects, or BTech students, BTech projects into an innovation, and then further into a startup. So this is the newly emerging area, and we all are feeling proud that at present, as part of the AICTE Innovation Repository, more than 1,500 higher education institutions have created a repository of more than 80,000 ideas, innovations, and startups. And from there, we asked all of these institutions to nominate the best innovations. Those are falling in TRL stage 4 to 9 to Ministry of Education as part of the AICTE Innovation Challenge. And let me share with you all, we have received 5,000 plus innovations, best innovations from 800 higher education institutions. And in the last 1.5 month period, all these 5,000 innovations and the whole team members, they have undergone through a series of 21 modules, training modules on innovation entrepreneurship, that is to validate their ideas, validate their innovations, and identifying the business opportunities. And this process, learning process, will continue for another 4 to 5 months, and through a phase-wise manner, through a staged manner, they will be provided with hand-holding supports, next mentoring, and series of evaluation and verification, through which we are going to identify and shortlist and the finalists for the AICTE Innovation Challenge, and through which they will receive the funding support and incubation linkage. But this is just one aspect. But as part of the AICTE Innovation Repository, these innovators, these startup, found entrepreneurs, they will also get opportunity and support from the respective higher education institutions, because innovation repository is now considered as a pipeline, and the pipeline for the institute to pipeline of innovations for the institute to identify the serious individuals having serious innovation, the serious startups and serious ideas, and institute will channelize the resources and help them to work on their ideas, innovations, and startups. Similarly, as part of AICTE Innovation Repository, industry, ecosystem enablers, venture capitalists, angel investors will also bring their opportunities, offerings for our innovators and startups. So these things will go as you will progress in this endeavor. So now the first stage, if you all have taken decision to become an entrepreneur or to explore this entrepreneurial career as an alternative career opportunity, then the first thing you have to discover that is that enterprising tendency is there within you or not. So discovering enterprising tendency is the first step to start with, because that will tell you that your mindset, your preparedness, and your ability, or the kind of the characteristics you have as an individual to be part of entrepreneurial journey that you are going to start. The first stage to qualify, or the first stage that satisfy the enterprising tendency in you, is that called internal motivation. So enterprising persons or the individuals are highly motivated, energetic, and has a capacity for hard work. So if you are an internally motivated, self-motivated person, and you are energetic and you have the capacity to work hard, then I think you are you are qualifying the first level of enterprising tendency is there with you. So once you have this self-motivation with you, then the next criteria that you have to qualify, that is called creative tendency. That means as an individual, you are having the creative quality or the innovation quality, and whenever you come across with any kind of problems in your life or in every day, you have that restlessness to find an idea and you use your imaginative approach to solve that problem, and you think the life, you see the life in a different way what others see. So if you have this kind of quality, if you have this kind of restlessness within you to solve the problems, then you are qualifying the second level of to become an enterprising or entrepreneur. The third quality you must satisfy if you have the self-motivation and creative tendency, that is called calculated risk taking. That means when you decided that you are going to solve any particular problem or the idea, then you have to rely on the information, logic, expert talk, and opinion before you start working on it. That means your idea, your solution is based on certain informations, logic, and it is an opportunity driven. So that is the called third level criteria you should qualify. And the fourth one is called locus of control. Locus of control means, that means you have self-motivation, you have the tendency, creative tendency, you have identified opportunity, and also you have taken a decision, or your solution is based on certain logic and information and the science, but you have to start it sooner. If you will not able to start it, if you will delay, if you will keep on delay the process of implementation, that is called procrastination, then somebody will come and either he will copy or somebody will implement similar kind of idea and you will exit from the market. So locus of control means you start and you finish and you have a control over the internal factors that is required for the implementation. Also, you understand the external factors, uncertainties, and the risk component associated with the implementation process, and you have a plan A and B ready while you are implementing. So these four things, these four characteristics, if you are qualifying all these four qualities, that means you are suitable for to start this innovation and entrepreneurship venture or a startup, we can say. So this is the first thing you have to qualify. So just check yourself. You ask these questions to yourself. If you're getting answer yes, then I think you are already reached to a set, right time. And if your answer is no for any one of things, then just try to build it and develop the answer yes, that how you are going to do it. Now let's understand the startup curve or the venture cycle. I think almost all startups, all ideas, all innovations goes through. So by understanding this startup curve, you will not get discouraged when you will face any challenge, because this is the obvious path one startup has to go through, and you cannot avoid, you cannot skip these phases because these are the obvious steps. So the first step is called before startups. That means while you are working in your idea or innovation, it is just a straight line. That means you are thinking, you are consolidating, you are making your mindset, everything. You are preparing yourself to start a venture. So once you have that idea in your hand, then you are in euphoria stage. That means your initial enthusiasm is high. As you progress in your idea, as you make the proof of concept ready, and as you get some kind of a recognition from any kind of competitions. So the peak stage of your enthusiasm is when you have the proof of concept or you have the prototype plan ready. So after that, actually reality sets in. That means you have to go through series of sorrows, and we call it the valley of death. And actually there you have to start finding the sources. You have to work on the team building, you have to work on finding the grant, seed fund support, and so many other things. Then the actual struggles, actual challenge starts when you start working on your prototype, and then customer validation, and then taking to the market. So experimenting, you have to change your course, you have to change your plan in many occasions, and you have to build your team. Then you have to go for market testing, you have to develop the innovation features, again you have to make and go for testing in the field. So this kind of things will go on and on in an iterative process. And finally, when you reached the stage called product market fit, that means your product, what you developed, is actually accepted by the customer through customer traction approach. That means your product is appropriately fitting to the market's requirement. There actually your upward trend starts. That means you are there in a stage to start generating revenue, and the moment you will start generating revenue, then you have to adapt the business model approaches and how to take your product and innovations to the market. And based on the customer's engagement, customer's feedback channel system, you have to improvise further, you have to revise your innovation and startup and business model itself, and again you have to go for scale up and expansion of your startup. So this is the actually path that generally a startup or even an individual starts with an idea, and then an idea converts into innovation, then innovation takes the shape of the product or the service, and then formation of a startup, and then you get into the market. So this path is obvious, so need not to be worried, and you have to go through this phase of the difficulties, challenges and opportunities. And once you reach to the product market fit, after that your actually growth starts. Actually there is not a very stressed life, but very rewarding life with lots of return, as compared to, I think, more than 100 times return as compared to you work for a company. So let's understand a bit in depth about actually this innovation and startup development phases. Just assume that you are as a single, or you are alone, or you are having a very small member or team of 1 or 2 members. Actually it's majority of the ideas innovation starts with either from a single person or 1 or 2 person. It never, ideas hardly generate with in a crowd. So just assume you are alone, or you are having a 1 or 2 member as your classmate or the childhood friend or your family members or your some other friends. So you have created an idea, right? So just you spread the whole thing into a 5-year timeline. That means -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So just assume that as a thumb rule approach, starting from idea creation to the business, that is revenue generation, is generally will take 5 years. So the first, it starts with idea creation, and the first 2 years generally it takes time for product creation, that is your innovation creation and the business model creation. And it starts with idea creation, and that idea has to be validated. We call it idea validation stage. And once your idea is validated, that means your prototype model is ready. Then you have to go for the product creation. That means you have to develop the product which is required for the market. That means product market fit. Whereas the idea validation is problem solution fit. That means you have developed a problem, you have identified a problem, and you have prescribed a solution, and both problem and solution fit is there. But product creation is called market product fit. That means your product is actually catering to the customers' need, those are going to purchase it. And business model creation, simultaneously you have to also go for business model creation, and business model creation is called business model fit. That means if your innovation has to go to the market, how it will reach to the customer that you have identified, and that method is called business model. So product creation is for product market fit, business model creation is for business model fit, and both the things has to go simultaneously. Then you have to validate that your product is actually going to work and your business model is actually going to work in the field. So this is called idea creation to reach to the business validation. Whereas simultaneously, you have to also build your team. That is, initially you have to start with 1 or 2 person, but you have to also see and explore and identify the right mentality and complementary skills persons. Those will come and join your team, and your team formation starts. Then it leads to the team commitment. That means the team you formed initially, we need the commitment, and this commitment will come through your testing phase of your how they stay, how they contribute, how they bring their learnings to the team, to the discussion table, and help the ideas to grow from ideas to product, innovation, business model, and further startup. So this team commitment, validation, and then those few people will leave, new people will join, and in this process, finally you will find a 3 or 4 members or 5 members team. Those we call them founding members, or we call them startup founders. Those will start the company. So this both business idea to a business, team to a company, all the things go simultaneously, and this whole thing will give you a picture, a thumb rule approach, that how the whole, if you are planning to start a startup, how it generally take. And this is generally for a tech startup. But if you are working on an IT-based startup, maybe the duration will be 3 years, not the 5 years. Even many startups you can start in a just 1 to 2 year time period also. So in this whole process also, actually, initially you have to start getting funding support in terms of the grant, in terms of the seed fund from your institute, from your from the government schemes. Also, you will get support from your family and friends, and even you put money from your own pocket. But it has to be reduced. It has to be gradually reduced as you progress from idea to innovation to startup, and gradually you have to keep a structure. You have to develop a structure where you have to invite you have to attract investors from the market, open market, like angel investor, next financial institutions for debt and loan, and then VC firms. They should come and join your board, so that it will help your startup to grow, expand, and scale. And if you are thinking that you will start and you will continue with your growth with grant support from government scheme or from your own pocket, I think it is very, very difficult, and I think you are limiting your growth. So you have to adapt this phase to move from grant to a investors investment perspective, if you are planning to take the startups to the next level. So let's start that. Actually, everybody's everybody asks these things. Also, they stop here because what the idea they select, they think that every idea is good and every idea has the potential to grow a startup and will give them lots of return. But actually, it is not the fact. Actually, if you are claiming that you have a great idea, so great idea means it should have 2 components, that is innovation component and the business component. And to qualify a great idea, you have to apply this thumb rule, so that you will able to prioritize which ideas to pursue. In many situations, we have multiple ideas, and we think that we will pursue this idea, we will pursue that idea, I will pursue both the ideas simultaneously, but actually it is not wise decision. So if you have multiple ideas, you have to first prioritize which ideas to be pursued, and prioritize of the idea is based upon certain criteria, and you can apply this thumb rule to prioritize that which idea is good and which idea is not good. So the first thing is that your idea must be linked to a problems of the community, or problems of the industry, or problems of the market. If it is not a problem, it must be a challenge, it must be addressing a challenge, current challenge, or it must be working on an opportunity that nobody has seen it. So your good idea must be for a link with a problem or a challenge or an opportunity. And the first thing you have to quantify to qualify your idea as a great idea, the first thing is that you should know whose problem it is. That means your potential customer, your target customer. What is the size of that customer, in terms of the number, in terms of the geography, in terms of the demography. You have to develop the customer segmentation. And once you have a fair knowledge and picture on the target customer and their size, and the size must be a big number. It must not be a small number. So the next is that your solution that you are prescribing must be addressing the need of this target customer, and there should be a frequency of using that solution. If your solution is just only one time, that means you are not going to generate, you are not going to sustain in a long-term basis. That means your solution must be bundled with the small and ancillary services, which will increase the frequency of use of your solution by the target customer. And the third component is called willingness to pay. That means your solution is actually meeting the need of the customer, and customer wants to purchase your solution, and there is a willingness to pay for that solution. So this is kind of these three things you have to first quantify. If you are getting positive answer, and if your product is not first of its kind, that means your product is just extension or incremental innovation of the existing solution, then also you have to explore that who are the competitors are offering similar kind of solutions, and how your solution is better than the solutions provided by the competitors. And you have to create a value proposition to the customer, so that customers will purchase your solution. And these 4 points, once you will put in this equation form, and finally the value will get, that will give the feeling of your idea is good or not. Consider if you have the 3 or 4 such ideas, then you have to quantify, then find the final value for each and all these 4 ideas, and the highest number is called the potential to become a great idea, and you have to prioritize based on the time and the resources you have. So this is called identifying and scrutinizing the great idea you have, and then the ideation process will go through idea generation, idea evaluation and selection, and then refinement and development, then finally it has to be tested. So this is the phase of ideation and great idea selection you have to make sure. And please make sure that you must have one great idea to start with a good startup. And the starting point is you have to rely on the data. You cannot just confirm the idea that what is coming to mind, that is the great idea. That means your great idea has to be backed with data, and the data should come directly from the customer or the potential or the target customers that you are intend to solve their problems. And you have to observe, you have to ask who are these customers, what they want, and how they are solving the current problem. Is there any solution exist or not, and how you are going to solve the problem. So you have to collect this data, you have to get some basic information and the logics, and you have to validate by using the research, and then you have to propose. So the first approach for starting a venture or starting things is you're framing a problem or the opportunity. And when I say data, actually data exists everywhere. Every second, every fraction of the second that you interact with anybody, be it a living or non-living, that interaction is called data. So the data exists everywhere, in every second, every moment, and every interaction. As an individual, as in a team, how we are meaningfully interpret that data into information is actually required. And when you apply that information in a useful way to generate the knowledge is called the next stage of process of ideation. And when you apply this knowledge, when this knowledge that you gain, you develop some insight to solve a problem, and that is, and having some utility, that is called your innovation. And when you take this utility into a kind of a product or the model, and that model has a scale up and replicable or scale up and sustainable, which generate wealth, that is in terms of the startup or technology transfer and licensing. This is what called the process of whole journey, starting from data to the whole startup, and it creating lots of wealth, utility, and usefulness, and the meaningful. So how it actually starts with, let's understand from this picture. So it starts with the curiosity of an individual or the team. That means first you should have this quality of the curiosity to observe others, to observe the phenomena, to observe the things that are happening in and around, and you're seeing and noticing qualities actually will help you to know the facts, phenomena happening, or the challenges and the problems are existing in your surrounding. And by noticing and from the by learning from the people, actually will help you in identifying the problems. So noticing will help you in understanding the problems, but whereas insight and the insight from the people will help you in identifying the problems. And creativity, your thinking and imagining ability, will help you in working on that problems and develop the solution. And then you have to start acting and enacting on that imaginative thought that you have developed, that goes to the phase of testing and implementation. That is called innovation. So innovation is not the starting point of startup. Starting point of startup is called curiosity and the creativity, and how this curiosity and creativity leads to innovation. Understanding this process, having this quality within you, developing the ability to utilize, to have a curiosity to identify a problem, understanding a problem, applying the creativity to develop an idea, and then applying the innovation to identifying the business opportunity or the product, developing a product and service, is very, very critical for startup. If you are not having this pre-startup stages, then I think you can start up, you can fulfill the legal aspect, you can register a startup, but actually you will not able to take your innovation forward, because your innovation part is completely dividing or it's lacking. And design thinking principle is that things you can apply at the early stage of the idea and problem identification and the solution development. Also, you can apply this design thinking principle each and every stages of the startups as you grow also. So design thinking principle can apply at any stages of your ideation, innovation, and startup, and on continuous basis. And what design thinking says, that you have to empathize. You should know that the person or the individual or the group or the society or the market for whom you are developing the solution, you should empathize first to understand their requirement. And there are certain principles, there are certain approach techniques, and it is called 5W1H. That is what, who, where, when, and why. That means you have to ask these questions. Who is the customer or whose problem, then where they stay, and when does that problem occurs, how frequency this occur, then why this is a problem. So by asking all these 5W1H principle, you have to make sure that the problem you are working and the customer you are targeting is actually validated. If you are not very confident on these two things, the problem you are working and the customer or the target category that you are going to work, then I think you will lose the track. Again, it is your best. There is no best to start with. So first have a problem statement, and then you further dig into the problems by asking 5 why principle. That means when you ask the answer of the first why to the problem statement, and again you will ask again why, similarly repeat the why to the answer you will get for each answer, for the answer you will get in each stage, because this asking 5 times why to the answer will give you the actual cause of the problem, not the effect of the problem. So every problem has a cause and effect. So understanding the cause of the problem is important, not the effect. If your solution is to address the effect of the problems, so in that case your solution is short term, your solution is not a long term. If you want to be a long term success, if you want to take your startup in a long term growth, then you have to prescribe a solution for the root cause, not for the effects of the problems. So by asking why 5 times repeatedly, and for on each and every answer, the answer you will get in each and every stages, that will actually help you to find to frame the the right problem with the right root cause. And once you have the problems, you have this problem statement, then you have to go and you have to ask how might we, this is the tool to find the solution to the problems. So how might we indicates that, how means it suggests that currently you don't have the answer, but you want to answer, you want to find the answer, and you have to by bringing your creativity and imaginative power. And might means you assume that there are many solutions, and you have to find maximum possible number of solutions for this problem. And we indicate that you have to find the solution through a collaborative and in a collective way, rather than as a single person. That means you have to apply how might we principle for the problem statement you have developed to find a solution, and then this solution again you have to go and test with your customer, and based on that you have to develop a problem statement canvas for your startup and innovation. And this problem statement canvas will tell you in a single page that when does the problem occur and the context. It will tell you the actual problem, what is the root cause of the problem, and it will also tell you that customers, who has the problem, most often, and what is the emotional impact, how does the customer feel, and quantifiable impact, what is the measurable impact, and what are the alternatives, what does customer do now to fix this problem, and alternative shortcomings. So this problem statement canvas will tell you the problem in depth and complete picture, insight about the problem, and also it will gives a way forward for the solutions. And this is the format of the problem statement canvas you can use, and it is very easy tool. But so far you are not confident with the problem statement canvas, then actually you have to rework on your problem, and you and your team should get convinced that this is the problem statement canvas is appropriate. And also you have to verify with the customers or the target audience about this problem statement canvas. So once your problem statement canvas is ready, then you have to get into the empathy map canvas. And empathy map canvas is again another tool that will actually help you to understand or to know that how the customer is currently solving, and what are the pain points and the gain points, and it will help you in developing the value proposition of your solutions, that how you are going to position your solution in front of the customer, and how it will help in addressing the pain points and the gains of the customer. So again, this tool is available. You can apply by using this empathy map canvas. Then the next is called business model canvas, and business model canvas will again help you in identifying the business opportunity. Also, it will help you that if you have the customer segment ready, if you know who is your customer segment, if you know what is your innovation, then how you will take these innovations and products to the customer, and how you are going to generate revenue, and the key resources and the partners, those are going to help you in developing the business, and what are the cost structure of your business. So this business model canvas, also BMC in short, is quite familiar and used by the startups and the innovations in a frequent manner. So you can try this kind of tool, and once you have the business model canvas, problem statement canvas, and your empathy map canvas, that these 3 pages will give you a benchmark and the base where you will start your startup work. I'm not going to cover each and everything. And finally, your ultimate objective is achieving 3 fits. One is called problem solution fit, another is called product market fit, and then third is called business model fit. That means problem solution fit means your idea and your the problems both were properly matched, and product market fit means your innovation or the prototype or the innovation, the product, and your market requirement is properly fit. And the business model fit means your business model, the way you want to deliver your products to reach to the customer is appropriately matched. So this is called achieving fit, and I have covered the initial idea generation part and some techniques. Now I will get into the innovation, because just assume that you have your you understood the whole market, you have your idea, you have the product. Now how you're going to position your product in the market, and how you are going to develop the strategy for your startups by understanding this matrix. So there are 2 types of, you can classify the whole innovation into 4 categories. One is called incremental innovation and radical innovation. Actually, this incremental innovation and radical innovation is based on the product or the innovation you have developed, the product or the service you have developed, and based on that similar kind of solutions exist in the market or not. Whereas the disruptive and sustaining innovations this depends upon a kind of market responses. Like when you have an incremental or radical innovation, when you introduce in the market, how the market is reacting to that is called disruptive innovation or sustaining innovation. So if you will put this incremental innovation and radical innovation in the x-axis, in the y-axis, and disruptive innovation and sustaining innovation in the x-axis, then 4 quadrants comes in. And the first bottom left quadrant, that is incrementally sustaining, it says that your product or your service is incrementally designed. That means it is similar kind of solutions are already exist in the market, but your innovation is bit incremental in nature, but you are also sustaining the market. Their competitors' products also sustain the market. So it says that incrementally sustaining. 70% of startups are falling into this category. Another 2 categories are called radically sustaining and incrementally disruptive. So radically sustaining means your product, your innovation is radically designed. It is first of its kind, but even after introducing into the market, it is surviving. Also, similar kind of also the products, those are somewhat similar kind also producing. It is not completely wiping out the market, or market is not getting distorted. So this is called radically sustaining. So your e-commerce business are actually radically sustaining. So 5 years back when e-commerce business was introduced, actually it was a replacement to the physical services, but actually it has not removed all the physical facilities. Still e-commerce and physical facilities are continuing. And coming to the incrementally disruptive are called your product is incremental, but when it introduced in the market, it has created disruption. So for example, your automobile and mobile phones. So automobile and mobile phones technologies get obsolete quickly, and in every year you will find that there are different versions of automobile and mobile phones introduced in the market. And this, when new version or new upgraded version of the automobiles get introduced, it created a distortion in the market and disruption in the market, and it affect the market share of the competitors. So that means products are incremental, but when it introduces the market, it get disrupts. The fourth quadrant, which is very, very important, that is called radically disruptive. It says that your product is radically designed, but when it enter in the market, it also create a disruption in the market by suppressing the competitors' business. For example, those are deep tech startups. Those are high R&D specific startups. Those are the space technology startups. So these are the called radically disruptive. Why I am telling you this matrix? The purpose of telling this matrix is 70% of startups are actually, they are developing innovation and they're falling into this incrementally sustaining. Only 25% each, they're actually into radically sustaining and incrementally disruptive. And hardly 1 to 2% of startups are actually radically disruptive. But actually the reward, the return, the growth are quite good in radically sustaining or incrementally disruptive or in the radically disruptive. So you can start with incrementally sustaining, no doubt, but gradually with experience, with your expertise and the kind of competency you will develop, you should aim that you should develop the innovations. Those are radically sustaining or incrementally disruptive, or it is radically disruptive. So you have to move from the bottom left quadrant to either all three quadrants as you gain the experience and the expertise. So this will help you as a startup founder. You have to devise the strategy in which quadrant currently you are now, how your innovation is fitting, and in next 5 years down the line, in which quadrant you should aim for, and for that what should be your strategy. So this is the called strategic mapping of your startups. Similarly, there is also you need to manage the innovations in your startup, and there are many processes involved, like pull-based process, push-based process, phase-gate process, agile or lean startup process, continuous improvement, and value stream mapping. So these are the innovation management processes you have to adapt to keep your startup active, alive, survive, thrive in this competitive world. If you will not have an innovation management in process, starting from ideation to till, and innovation management process should not stop anywhere. It should be on daily basis. It should be on monthly basis. You have to review and you have to keep on innovating. And keep on innovating is the only way to keep your startup success and life. So pull-based process is that you are having an innovation which is market driven. That means your product is addressing to the problem that is exists in the market, and you have devised a solution to this to the solution, because there is no much solution exist in the market. Whereas push based process is that you have developed a solution, but actually customer have no idea about that problem because they have not discovered that. You have discovered that process, you have discovered that need and aspiration, then you position your product in the customer's mind to purchase. That is called push-based process. Your Apple, Samsung, so these corporates, they apply push-based process because they discover the need and aspirations of the customer. Accordingly, they design the product and they introduce into the market. But generally, majority of the startups, they go for pull-based process because they identify an opportunity, they identify a problem and challenge, they come to the lab and they develop the product innovation and they introduce. So this is called pull-based process. Similarly, in pharmaceutical industry, there is a phase-gate process. So when there is a in drug discovery in your medical devices, so the phases are quite standard, and there are certain criteria compliance they have to fulfill each and every stages. So they apply phase-gate process by creating various phases, and in each intersection of the phases, between two phases, they apply certain criteria to qualify to pass from one phase to another phase, so that there is a less chance to come back to the previous phase, and by doing so they save lots of money and the time and manage the innovation. Agile and lean startup process are another kind actually these many startups apply this agile and lean process because they have less R&D capacity, and they manage innovation in a very uncertain environment. So they first introduce the product, and they watch how the market is responding to it, and accordingly they take the learnings to the boardroom and they discuss and they make the changes. Again they introduce. So through the iterative process and somewhat called feedback process they develop, it is called agility is there, and they apply a lean process. That's why it is called agile and lean startup process. Another the process is called continuous improvement. That means every day on daily basis, by engaging all your human resources employee every day, everywhere, by everybody, you have to develop, you have to streamline your innovation. That is called continuous improvement. And value stream process mapping is called every problems you can create a value map, and you have to check and apply the principles of innovation in each and every steps of the value map. That is called value mapping. So in the whole process also you have to manage lots of risks, and risk actually decreases as you progress. But at the ideation stage, at the innovation stage, when you have the less experience and when you have not tested in the real ground, in the learning phase, at the new idea stage, actually you have to assume so many things, and that increases your risk uncertainties. But the more and more logics, informations, research, opinions you will take from the experts, assumption will be more accurate to the market, and you will reduce your risk. Similarly, when you will go to the validation phase and innovation testing phase, there also you will learn directly from the customer. That will also reduce your risk. And when you will into the startup phase of the growth or the kind of a market enrollment or the entering into the market, you will get the feedback from the customer, and that will help you in developing, refining your innovation and your business model. That further will reduce your risk. That means risk uncertainties decreases as you progress from ideation to the innovation to the startup, and your objective should be that how to reduce the uncertainties. And in terms of innovation also, innovation is not only limited to the product or the service that you are going to deliver. Also innovation is required at the channel. Channel means the business channel, or the kind of how you're going to deliver your innovations to the customer, your offerings. Also you have to bring the innovation in the customer engagement. That means your service, channel, brand, customer engagement innovation is also required. Similarly, within your startup, in the structure, process, network, and profit model, there also you have to bring the innovation. That means innovation is not only restricted to the product and the core product, core service that you are dealing. Also you have to bring in the configuration and the kind of experience domain. And there are 10 areas like profit model, network, structure, process, product, your performance, product system, service, channel, brand. So there are 10 areas where you have to bring the innovation. That means every day you should devote certain times, and you have to see that innovation happen in all these 10 areas. And as you progress, or as you grow, or as you move in this startup venture, then also you have to think about that how you're going to manage the portfolio, that is innovation portfolio, because you can't survive with single innovation, and you have to start developing multiple innovations, and you have to create the portfolio of the innovations. Then only you will be able to survive. And there is a principle called 70-20-10 rule is there, that helps in portfolio management. What 70-20-10 rule says, that specifically in a big corporate like IBM or Google kind of things, 70% of time they focus more on the core product, that is the core innovation. 20% of resources and time they devote towards the product or the innovations, the core product, expansion of the core product. That means 70% on the core 20% on the expansion or the ancillary services of the core, and 10% is on a different kind of innovation which is not linked with the core. That means it's their expansion. So this 70-20-10 principle applicable for the big corporates. But in startups actually, when they are in the initial stage, when they are developing the innovation, it is 0-0-100. That means 100% time and resources they are putting for developing an innovation, starting from the scratch, or it is just a first. It is the core. It is that the only innovation they have. But as they progress, they have to shift the portfolio management resource mobilization strategy to 80-20-0. That means once the innovation is tested, that is going to be the core product, they have to shift this innovation as a core. That is 80% time they have to focus on the core. 20% time they have to see that how this core innovation will reach to the market and customer engagement, and for the time being, for the few months or the 1 to 2 years, they need not to focus on any other innovation. They have to first streamline and standardize the innovation or the business of the core product they have developed as part of their R&D or their innovation development. Once they have the product market fit is achieved and they are into the scale up stage and further into the expansion stage, then they have to start focusing on new innovation, and their resource mobilization strategy will be 65-30-5. That means 65% of time and resources they will focus on managing the core product, 30% of time in how to increase the services and expansion of the core product, and 5% in time on towards discovering and inventing new innovations and solutions that they will start, and later they will convert these new innovations to as a core product and as part of the portfolio management. So this is the risk innovation and the portfolio management strategy for the startups. And as a startup founder, you have to focus on this. And then you have to also start working on your how you're going to start your startup, specifically your feasibility study of your startup idea. You have to do the lots of market research, and you have to highlight, you have to project the unique selling point of your startup, and you have to take professional advice, and also you have to conduct lots of market survey that how your product or services is going to be positioned, what should be your marketing strategy, who is you're going to be partner, and which part you are going to outsource, which part you have to develop in-house. All the things, the strategy you have to work on. And you have to also do research on competitors' market and the market by using this primary, secondary researches and SWOT analysis, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis. And this is very, very important at the beginning stage of the planning the startups, because the strength SWOT analysis of the industry will give you that actually where to intervene and how to intervene, why to intervene, and how to manage with competitors. So strength and weakness, these are the actually in-house or the within the organization or within the startup. Under the strength and weakness, you have to tell that as a startup, as a team, what is your strength, what is your weakness. But for the opportunity and threat, that comes from the market, and opportunities and threat says that these are the external factors that says that as a team, as a startup, what are the opportunities are there in the market for you, and what are the threats in the market for you, and how you are going to deal with that. So having a strength, weakness, opportunities, and the threat analysis, it will actually give you a market entry and devising your business model more accurately. And then that will also help you to develop an effective business plan, where you have to give your description about the startup and the market size, scalability, the business model, operational plan, strategies, opportunities, marketing, the business structure and the management, and the financial framework, that how you're going to mobilize that finance, grants, investment, everything that you have to highlight. And this effective business plan, the realistic and more accurate business plan, will help you in attracting investors and getting the financial support, and also collaborate with the stakeholders, partners to start your business. And more importantly, the team that you have or you are going to build in the whole process is very, very critical, because this will help in work distribution and taking the responsibilities, delivering and bringing the complementary skill set, competencies, and the helping in growth of your startup. So the team size you have to decide based on the operation level of your business. So if it is a chain of operations, then you need a huge team. It is just IT based, you need less team. And if it is a deep tech based, you need a team of having multiple skill sets. So it depends, all kind of things. So then is your startup is product based or service based? Based on that also you have to build the team, because product based business require different skill sets. They need different disciplinary skill set, various technical skill set, and understanding. Similarly, in your team, you need some management, legal matters, understanding, accountancy, finance, all kind of things you need. Initially, you may take the service-based support, but later you have to think that when you grow, you need full-time members in your team. Similarly, position like CEO, CFO, CTO, CMO, all these things must be clarified. Neither what will happen, fighting will start, and then team cohesiveness will lose. And make sure that only energetic, passionate, and the fresh youth, all these things should be part of your core team. And you can take the experts and very senior persons as a mentor, but because these energetic, passionate people will actually bring their blood and sweat and their time and with better commitment. Then you have to register your startup, and I hope you all know that how to register a startup. Actually, there is a you can register as a LLP, limited liability partnership. You can register for the private limited, or also you can go for registered partnership. So you can approach the registered company, exist in every district and every state headquarter, and you have to register a startup, and then you have to go and apply. You have to register your startup in Startup India portal. You have to get the recognition from DPIIT, because DPIIT recognize only those startups, those that have the innovation component. And once you are getting recognition from the DPIIT, that will help you in begging lots of other discounted services, from like IP filing, patent filing, then your tax rebates, everything you will get if your startup is getting DPIIT recognized. So always try to be part of the government scheme, so that at the initial phase you will get lots of support. And though it is competitive, but try to get the funding supports from under schemes like DBT, DST, Ministry of Education, then Ministry of Electronics and Telecommunication. There are so many ministries and state governments. Even now, industries are also coming forward with so many schemes. So please be part of the Make Your Startup is part of these government schemes. And Seed India Seed Fund, India Seed Fund scheme is also one of the things. And Auto Innovation Mission also have lots of schemes. Then create a strong online presence through social media, and try to communicate that what is your values, what is startup, how you are going to create values. So you will be able to identify and attract many customers, potential customers. That will also help you in getting your ideas, innovations get validated. And find a place called incubation space or research park, or a good technical institutions or industry where you will get other supports like access to the financial, technical, and business consultancy supports. And then you have to also choose a suitable business structure, because you need a control over your startup, and you have to also raise investment. For that, you need a suitable business structure, and you can raise the fund like grant and seed fund at early phase, but later you have to go and explore venture capital fund, angel investors fund, crowdfunding mechanisms to attract things. And also you have to take care about the essential legal aspects like licensing, business registration, patent and trademark, establishing the market. So all these things, the compliances you have to fulfill, because neither you will face lots of problems and the challenges, especially legal challenges and kind of things when you start generating revenue, and that will put you into very big trouble. So this is all about the startup, how you are going to start a venture in India, and there are many other things, but you can take these are the basic things for as a basic things to start with, and you have to take the support from the incubation unit in your institute, and you have to also get support from the mentors. Those have this experience in this domain, so that that will help you to address specific queries or that challenges you're getting on day-to-day basis, especially operation and development of the startups. So with this, I will thank you again for giving me this. This is an opportunity, and my best wishes to each and every one. Those have started their venture, or those are willing to start their career with NIET and have an idea in your mind or innovation in your mind, and I think definitely you all will get support from the incubation unit of NIET, and whenever needed, we will try our best to provide you all the supports. Thank you all.
Well, thank you, sir, for such an informative and engrossing talk. I'm sure the participants have got a lot of information about starting a new venture, and your invaluable perspective and ideas will certainly go a long way in fueling the entrepreneurial journeys of our students. So with your permission, please, can we take some questions from the audience?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Well, Mr. Prashant Pandey wants to ask, why are these startups in India failing to generate profitable revenue? And what basic tips related to finance would you like to share with the students who are looking forward to starting a business?
The first thing is that you have to test that your idea is feasible, and that idea should meet the criteria of scalability and sustainability. So if you will not meet these two criteria of scalability and sustainability, that means at the initial stage you may get certain funding things, you may register a startup, but once it will reach to the market entry, your product will get rejected. This is the what actually majority of the startups, majority of the innovators they are facing, and mostly in the academic setup, because these PhD holders, those develop their product as part of the PhD, and because that they have not applied the customer feedback, they have not tested their idea in the early stage of the development with the actual customers or the potential customer. So that means your scalability component, your sustainability component is actually, it says that your idea is actually there is a problem and solution is appropriately matched, the market and product fit is achieved, and your business model fit is achieved. That I mentioned there are three fit. That is, one is problem solution fit, that is idea and solution, and your the problem and solution, and your product and market, that means your innovation prototype and the market customers need. Third is your business model, that means your innovation, how you are going to take to the market or the customer. If these three feet are not tested, not validated at the early phase before you start the startup, that means you will get stuck somewhere. And this is the why 45 to 50% of startup fail because of this reason only. It is not a funding, it is not a financial, because your product is not meeting the criteria, customers need and the requirement. You are trying to push something that you have developed, but that is actually doesn't need by the customer, and there is no willingness to pay. When customer is not willing to pay for the service, but you have developed, then what will happen? Definitely you have to stop somewhere. And retrofitting mode is not going to work. Retrofitting mode means you develop something, then you think that it will be workable in the market, and then you're trying to change in the product. These things will not change. Your product should be a foolproof in the idea stage itself. Don't create something at risk to a product stage. Then you take the customer's feedback. Then you try to change it in the main product. Then it is a retrofitting only. And retrofitting product will never meet the 100% customer's need. It is just trying to fit because you want to sell it, but customers will never satisfy with that.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Another question is from two female participants here. They're asking that they're planning to start a play school based on franchise model in Delhi. So they want to know if they can get funding, loan or grant from Government of India or state government, and how much can they get?
See, first thing is that let me analyze this your that school, that play school that you want to open. It is not a completely radical idea, right? It's not a complete, it's incremental. So when your idea is incremental, that means this kind of business model do exist in the market, right? That means risk is known. That means you have to do some market research and market study, and you have to find out that if this is the model, similar kind of model exists in the market, what are the risks, how they are operating, what is their cost structure, what is their revenue model. Then you have to tell that in the whole structure, your innovation is this, your incremental innovation is this, and this is the way you are unique. This is the way you are the better. Then you have to prepare a bankable business plan, and you have to approach to the bank. You have to approach the financial institutions. Also, you can approach to the angel investor or the VC funds to raise the investments. Actually, nobody is going to give the grant. Everybody is going to investment. If your idea, if your business model is actually lucrative, then go for the raising the financial loan or the debt from the financial institutions, or go to any investor who is going to join as a partner to you, partner in your business. In that way, you have to expand.
Well, thank you very much, sir. We have time constraints, so I'll just take one more question from the audience, please. So it's like, what according to you is the most difficult part of being an entrepreneur, and what basic traits you believe every entrepreneur should possess to be successful?
Already I have mentioned four traits, four characteristics that you should satisfy. And the first is called self-motivation. If you are creative, but you have no self-motivation, I think it's no use. You will come and join, you go here and there, you will jump here and there only. So first is called self-motivation, that is called perseverance. That should be there. And this self-motivation, perseverance, when it topped with the creative tendency, it creates a good good product. Like it creates a good solution. And that when it linked with your logic or the kind called opportunity, and then with your controlling ability, understanding the uncertainty, the planning capability, then these four things will actually shape you a good entrepreneur. And also it will make sure that you will success in your entrepreneurial venture. So the first and foremost is called self-motivation, or the commitment or the perseverance that you should have towards solving the problems and an opportunity driven mindset.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir, for clarifying the doubts of our students and participants. And your contribution has enriched this program and helped us further the vision and mission of the Institute. Now, I will request respected Director General, sir, Mr. Praveen Soneja, to please propose the vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Good morning. Before I say a word, I would like to stand and clap for you. And thank you, sir, for giving me the most enriching 90 minutes of my life. I have been working a professional for 40 years in industry, led Six Sigma teams, and even has worked in a startup for 2 years. But I can easily say that today's 90-minute has been the most enriching learning experience for me personally. Thank you. And so there could not have been any better person to address and bring such a concise journey, the entire personality trait, how do you define the problem statement, how do you filter out the best the problem that you should be taking up, the idea of generating solutions, validating the solutions, looking at the market, how to go about whether it has the potential or not, developing the value proposition of the solution, and then taking to the market. Not only stopping there, how to compete in the market. I can say in last 90 minutes, the coverage you gave and the way you brought this concise journey is phenomenal. On behalf of entire NIT team, I thank you from my bottom of my heart on behalf of the entire leadership of the NIT. I would also like to thank the leadership team of NIT and all the participants and IIC team for being part of this learning experience and take it forward. As you said, India is at the cusp and the numbers are improving. We are becoming a startup hub for the entire nation. The things are moving. The Silicon Valley, which used to be known for the startups, is now there's so many Silicon Valley are going to develop here. And with our potential and IQ and the number of qualified people, we hold much more potential. And I'm sure under the leadership of the government and people leading from the front like you, this entire ecosystem is going to multiply in coming years, and we are going to see big dividends. Thank you, and wish all the participants very best. I'm sure they would take this learning forward and come out with new ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen sir. And thank you once again, Dipan Sahu sir. We close the program now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.